I'm sure it's very difficult to make a documentary because you have to kind of invade people's lives. So how did you convince them to direct their story?
Yeah, it really was a process that evolved over about 3 years. We went down there initially to do what we thought would be a short film project, simply focusing on their music and maybe their way of worship. As we got to know the band, we found that they're pretty interesting people. And so really it was trust that was earned over a long period of time where we each became more comfortable with each other. So by the time we hit the final portion of production last year, we knew the story we wanted to tell, and they were comfortable with us being in their environment.
So how did the Critic come into the story?
The Critic is actually the guy that introduced me to the band. The Critic, Michael Corker, and I have known each other for 20 years. And so he called me and said, there's this band that you have to see. And I think he has good taste, and so I thought, yeah, I'll come out and see him. And so he really sort of facilitated the initial relationship. And then he was always involved with the band, and at some point we decided that he would be an interesting character, and so we decided to make him one of the characters in the film. As opposed to simply a facilitator of the relationship.
So after finishing the film, what do you think is the core message of the film?
I think that there are a couple things that I found very affirming. The first is that it affirms the value of working with each other. These are people from very different backgrounds, the Jones family and then Michael Corcoran and the independent rock people that he brought into the Jones family's world. And yet they looked beyond their differences and found sort of a common ground where they worked together to create something beautiful. And I think any type of message of people reaching out and helping lift each other up is something that's very affirming in this world. The other message that I think is very affirming is that Bishop Fred Jones and the band never lost sight of who they were or what they're doing. They're gospel singers, and so even though they were asked to do something that was more secular, maybe do soul music where they might have earned more money, they stayed true to who they are, and eventually it paid off for them. And I think that's very affirming. If somebody stays doing what they're doing and they find a way to realize their dreams, I think that's something everybody likes.
So you guys went to South by. Tell me a little bit about the reception that you guys got there.
It was an incredible reception. South by Southwest premiered us at the Paramount Theater, which is their premier venue, in the main Congress, and we had a packed house, and people to sit there after working with the film for 3 years and hear a room full of people laughing and sort of gasping at certain points. It's just an incredible feeling because you realize that they're connecting to this story in the same way that we did incrementally over the 3 years that it took us to make the film.
Well, and tell me about your production company and what you guys are working on right now.
You bet. We started Arts and Labor 10 years ago, and we are a creative content company in Austin. We had 5 features at South by Southwest this year. We had 2 features and 2 shorts at Sundance last year, so we have been fairly fortunate, I guess, in independent films. So in addition to the Jones family will make a way, we have a documentary on Doug Somm that's making the festival circuit right now. It also premiered at South by. We co-produced 6 Years with Mark Duplass, and that just sold to Netflix. We co-produced Entertainment, just showed at the New Directors New Films up at the Lincoln Center, New York. Also, that premiered at Sundance, but it sold to Magnolia 2 weeks ago. And then we have Uncle Kent 2, which is an experimental film that won a jury award at South by Southwest. So we're fortunate to be working with a number of really talented directors right now, and they're achieving some notice. We had Hellion here last year, which won the jury award, and Kat Candler's one of the directors too that we love working with.
Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.